Hello, I'm Lauren Morgan, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about who I am. First, I'd like to start with my hobbies. As you can see from my visual aid here, I have a couple of posters from some plays that I've been to, namely Falsetto Land and Hamilton, because one of my hobbies is going to theater. My husband and I travel to New York a couple times a year. We have 2 subscriptions to theaters in Chicago, and we see probably around 30 shows a year. It's fairly easy for us to do because it's connected to our jobs as directors of speech and theater programs at our respective community colleges. In addition to theater, I also read quite frequently. This is a picture of Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, a book that I am currently reading. It's a hilarious female writer who talks about her battles with depression and bipolar disorder. I also do a lot of reading because as a director of the speech and debate program at College of DuPage, I have to prepare a lot of material for my students to use in competition. So I read a lot of poetry, I read a lot of short stories, plays, and essays, and all kinds of other literature and types of informative pieces that are out there. So that pretty much covers 2 of my hobbies that I do with my husband. Another thing that we do is we travel quite frequently. Part of that travel is related to our roles as debate and speech coaches. We travel to about 4 tournaments in the fall and between 5 and 6 tournaments in the spring. So we have a lot of weekends away. We also like to do a lot of personal travel, and we often during our vacations will travel out of state somewhere. These pictures in my slide are just a couple places that we've been. Last December we took a trip with our family and friends to New York. We were with some people who hadn't been to Broadway before, so we were traveling with them. Another picture is from a trip that I went on just in the city with some girlfriends that had come in from out of town. We went on the architectural tour. The lower photo is my husband and I on a trip to Washington, D.C. And the last photo is a picture of a kettle corn stand. I also really like to travel throughout the state and go to a variety of festivals. I used to live in Central Illinois, and that's something I used to do quite frequently. A couple of things that you would not know about me. I am really a lover of woodland animals, and currently have a small obsession with squirrels. And so for Christmas, my sister and brother-in-law gave me a t-shirt with a squirrel pirate on it. I also really, really love pirates. That's something that most people wouldn't know about me just by looking at me. The second photo is a picture of me with a couple of my girlfriends bike riding. I'm pretty athletic and I really like to do a lot of outdoor activities, so I bike frequently, I do a lot of yoga, I like to hike, I've done kickboxing and swimming and skiing. I really, really love all sorts of athletic activities, although I was never an athlete when I was younger. And last of all, it's a picture of a menorah because I'm Jewish, and some people are usually surprised to find that out, and they often say to me, "You don't look Jewish." I'm not exactly sure what a Jewish person looks like, but that is something that I hear frequently. So that tells you a little bit about me and things that you wouldn't know. And the last thing that I have is a quotation, which is my favorite quotation by Marianne Williamson. It's sometimes attributed to Nelson Mandela, but actually Marianne Williamson is the person who wrote the quotation. And it says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." It's my favorite quotation because I think fear holds a lot of us back. As a speech teacher, I see a lot of students who come to class with a lot of fear of speaking. And I think that often what they're fearful of is that they actually have a voice and can use a voice. And so I hope that as you travel through this class, you'll not only learn a little bit about me, a little bit about your classmates, but an awful lot about yourself and the power that you have as a speaker.